Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will discuss algae, plant-like protist. In this topic, we will discuss about diatoms, brown algae, red algae, and green algae. This topic is from chapter number 7, first year biology. Let's start with diatoms. Reason for naming: the cell wall of each diatom consists of two shells that overlap where they it tied together much like a petri dish. As you can see here, they look like two atoms. That's why they are called diatoms. They are glass-like because silica is deposited in the shell, and this glass-like material is laid down in intricate pattern. That's why they look like a glass. They are producers, means they are autotroph. They can do photosynthesis. Diatoms are the major producers in the aquatic, marine, or freshwater ecosystem because of their extremely large numbers. Diatoms are very important in aquatic food chain. We have discussed diatoms, reason for naming. They are glass-like. Why they are glass-like? Because silica is deposited and they are producers. They are very important in aquatic food chain. Brown algae. Brown algae include the giants of the protist kingdom due to their size. All brown algae are multicellular and range from a few centimeters to approximately 75 meters in length. That is also a short question. Reason for naming: they are named due to their color, which varies from brown to olive green. That's why they are called brown algae. The largest brown algae, called the kelps, are tough and leathery in appearance. As you can see here, kelp. This is largest brown algae. Structure of kelp: it consists of leaves. These leaves are called blade. Leaf like blades, stem like stipes, and root like anchoring hold fast. As you can see here, kelp has blade, leaf like blade, stem like stipe, and root like hold fast. Habitat: where they live. Brown algae are common in cooler marine waters, especially along rocky coastlines in the intertidal zone. We have discussed brown algae. We discussed reason for naming, its structure. In structure, we have discussed the structure of kelp. It consists of blade, stripe, and holdfast. Habitat: cooler aquatic habitat. Next is red algae. Red algae are named so because of their red color, which they obtain from the pigment Phycoerythrin. The pigment reflected red light and absorbed blue light and hence give a reddish appearance to the algae. Structure: the multicellular body form of red algae is commonly composed of complex interwoven filaments that are delicate and feathery. They consist of feather-like structures, interwoven feather-like structures or filaments. They are very delicate and feathery. A few red algae are flattened sheet of cells, as you can see here. Holdfast. They have anchoring structure that is called holdfast. Most multicellular red algae attach to rock or other substance by a basal holdfast. Coral reefs. Some red algae incorporate calcium carbonate in their cell wall from the ocean. From where they get calcium carbonate? From the ocean, and deposit it in their cell wall and take part in building coral reef along with coral animals. Many animals form corals. And algae, brown algae is also, red algae is also involved in the formation of coral reef. What are coral reefs? Coral reef, ridge or rock formed in shallow ocean areas by algae and the calcareous skeleton of certain coelacanths, of which coral polyps are the most important. A coral reef may grow into a permanent coral island, often called the rainforest of the sea. What is coral? A hard, stony substance secreted by certain marine coelacanths as an external skeleton, typically formed large reefs in warm areas. What is reef? What a strip or ridge of rock, sand, or coral that rises to or near the surface of a body of water is called reef. In red algae, we have discussed reason for naming their structure and they form coral reefs. But are coral reefs coral due to exoskeleton or due to deposition of calcium carbonate? The organism's dead body make a rock inside the bottom of ocean. That rock or that range of rock is called coral reef. Green algae. Green algae have chloroplasts that contain chlorophyll A and B, giving them a bright green color, as well as the accessory pigment beta carotene and xanthophylls in thylakoids. Resemblance with plants. Green algae have pigments, energy reserve products, and cell wall that are identical to those of plants. Green algae have pigments. Plants also have pigments, energy reserve products. Plants also have energy reserve products and cell wall. And cell wall is present in plants. These three structures are identical to plants. Here you can see the example of green algae. Here also the example of green algae volvox. Green algae are photosynthetic because they have chlorophyll. They are also called green algae because they have chlorophyll. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and carotenoids present in the chloroplast. That's why they are photosynthetic. They have reserved food material in the form of starch. Plants also have reserved food material in the form of starch. This is also example of green algae, Spirogyra alba, example of green algae. Most green algae possesses cell wall with cellulose. Because of these and other similarities, it is generally accepted that plants arose from ancestral green algae. Plants arose from green algae because green algae also has cellulose and pigment, chlorophyll. So we can say they both plant and green algae are monophyletic. What is monophyletic? A group composed of collection of organisms including the more recent common ancestor of all those organisms and all the descendants of that most monophyletic taxon is also called a clade. They all arise from a common ancestor. Evidence from RNA sequencing also indicate that green algae and the plants form a monophyletic lineage. In green algae, we have discussed reason for naming, resemblance with plants, photosynthetic. They are photosynthetic because they have pigment. Ancestral green algae. From green algae, plants arose. Plant and green algae are monophyletic. We have discussed these points. With that, we have completed this topic. Thank you for watching.